You're watching Wid's Anime Cast.
Konnichiwa, and welcome to Wid's Anime. Well, this time is kind of a little special treat, something I've been interested in for a while now, and I've decided I'm going to move on it. So what I'm talking about this time is Full Metal Alchemist, the movies, The Conqueror of Shambala, and The Secret Star of Milos. The reason I'm doing this is about a month ago I finally saw The Secret Star of Milos. I've had it for a while, but finally got around to watching it. Now, I do have the t-shirt on, and I am a fan, but sometimes, life gets in the way. So off we go with the brothers Elric. Well, The Conquest of Shambhala was released in 2005, while The Sacred Star of Milos was released in 2011. Generally, and I would agree with this, Shambhala is considered to be a follow-up to the Full Alchemist 2003 to 2004 anime series. Then The Sacred Star of Milos is just a side story to the FullMetal Alchemist Brotherhood 2009 to 2010 anime series. Well, Shambhala, let's jump right into this. Shambhala gets our heroes into an alternate world that looks an awful lot like pre-Nazi Germany. The Japanese certainly do like their Nazi subplot devices. Well, the film follows the story of alchemist Edward Ulrich as he attempts to return to his home world. In homeworld, he's like I said, he went through a gate and he's now in a different place. So he's attempting to get back, having lived for 2 years in a parallel universe or parallel universe Earth. While his younger brother Alphonse is also trying to reunite with him by any means possible. Edward's search attracts the attention of the Fool Society, which seeks to enter his homeworld, believing that Shambhala to be able to obtain new weapons to help them in World War II, hence the Nazi reference. The story takes place about 2 years after the end of Full Metal Alchemist series 2003 series. As with any series, we have to see our favorite characters again, such as Roy Mustang, who happens to be my favorite, the Homunculi, Winry Rockbell, Riza Hawkeye, and just about everybody else from the series, including Hohenheim Elric. I don't want to go give a blow-by-blow of the movies, or either of them actually, because I'm going on the assumption if you're watching this, you've already seen it, and you kind of want my take on it. So I'm not giving you the blow-by-blow stuff. I'm not going to recount the whole movie. The usual set pieces are there. The movie concludes with Edward concludes with Edward appearing in his world, reunited with Alphonse and their friend Winry, who fits Edward with some new automail limbs. The Amestris military managed to stop most of the villain soldiers, or the Eckhart soldiers, with the help of Roy Mustang. Hence, we have all our characters back. Edward battles Eckhart before Alphonse transmutes part of his soul to a group of armor, which attacks her and forces her to retreat. Like I said, I'm just basically giving you the end of the story, and this is kind of courtesy of, was it Wikipedia and a little IMBD in here. Upon reappearing in her own world, Eckhart is covered with shadow creatures from, the gate, and is killed by an officer out of alarm of her new monstrous appearance. Understanding the danger posed by the connection between the two worlds, Edward returns to Earth to seal the gates on that side, knowing he will be trapped on Earth forever, instead of sealing the gate on the other side as he was told to do by Edward. Alphonse has Mustang seal the gate and follows Edward to return with his brother. Um, to return with his brother. Following Alphonse's funeral, Alphonse funeral, the brothers leave Munich with Noah. And again, if you've seen Shambala, you know what I'm talking about. Intending on destroying the weapons meant to be used by Hitler's Reich and attack and enjoy a whole new life together on Earth. An interesting story, but remember, at this time, the manga was still being written, was still happening. So this Bones went off on their own direction. And as with the series, the vocal talent for Shambhala was the same as the series, the same with the character design. As Yoshiyuki Ito handled the character designs for both the series and the movie, there's a lot of continuity of look between the two. The music is handled by Mishu Oshima, again for both the series and the film. And as I have those, it really looks like Bones wanted to keep the original staff together that they used on the series to make the film. It's a great idea because again, you have this look of continuance. If you love the series, you're going to love the movie. At the end, I'll tell you how much each made, and obviously, we loved the. I will get to that later. But let's get on to the Star of Milos, the Sacred Star of Milos, which was released in 2011, and like I've said before, it's generally thought to be a side story to Brotherhood. And here is the IMDb synopsis for the movie. In the lost holy land of Milos, the Elrics search for the truth behind an unknown form of alchemy. What secrets are hidden in Milos? Riddles must be solved and dangers faced before the truth can be found. And there really isn't much more to it than that. It's pretty much a bare bones episode, really. Right now, I'm going back and I'm rereading the manga series, but I'm also getting my hands on the light novels that were published. They didn't publish all of them over here, but I can get my hands on about 4 of them. And it looks like it was lifted from the pages of the light novels. Really isn't much here. As for the vocal talent, the only change was the voice actor for Roy Mustang. This time it was voiced by the actor from Brotherhood. In the other in the first series and the movie and Brotherhood, they kept the same people except for Roy. Roy was the only one who got a new voice. As a side note, all the vocal talent, like I said, remained consistent throughout the franchise, again, with the exception of Roy Mustang. And now I'm going to talk about only talking about the major characters. Minor characters, of course, they're going to change around, and new ones were brought in from Brotherhood and the first series. But I'm not talking about the series right now. I'm only talking about the movies. Now, the character design is handled by Kenichi Kenichi Konshi. And his shows, he's actually done a lot of, his bio shows, he's done a lot of work with Studio Ghibli and, of course, Fooly Cooly. The music this time is in the capable hands of Taro Iwashiro. He's done a lot of movies he's done music for my 2 favorite Chinese films, Red Cliffs and Red Cliffs 2. I love those movies. If you have not seen them, they're great because I love this kind of stuff. And his resume has a lot of film work, but not as much anime work. And anyway, the first thing that leaps out at me as a difference between the 2 movies is the art style. In Shambhala, it keeps the familiar character designs that we saw in the anime series. Milos goes more in tune with a manga style. It looks more like it's akin to the manga, It also has a more, I'd have to say, I wouldn't, well, let's put it this way. I wouldn't say it's as updated as the Sailor Moon 1992 versus the Sailor Moon Crystal of 2014. If anything, it struck me as it was trying to have a graphic novel style, kind of like they're doing in Attack on Titan. And it goes without saying that both these movies were just extended episodes. Which one did I prefer? Probably Shambhala, because the character designs are richer in feel. I just didn't get that out of Sacred Star of Milos. Now, I like the Attack on Titan look. This one just seemed, in a way, quick and dirty. I don't know. There was not a lot of richness in design. They're both about the same length of time with it's just that Shambhala feels like there's more depth to it. I could go back and watch Shambhala again, but looking at when I watched Milos, I just kept thinking, wow, well, I haven't seen Shambhala for a while. It just seemed that much better. Milos is just about an hour and a half. It really is just about an hour and a half episode, and a chance to see our favorite characters, at least the major characters again. With Shambhala coming so soon after the end of the first anime series, and with much the same crew working on it, it really captures the spirit of the series, not the spirit of the manga, but the spirit of the series. And this is a great series that really didn't flesh out its characters in depth like it did with Brotherhood. It's in a way it's its own creature, and again, if I get any kind of response from this podcast or this video cast, I'll do it on the series. I'll compare them because I love both of them. As you can see from my shirt, Milos felt like it was the swan song for the franchise. If I were crass, I would say it was another chance for Bones to wring another yen out of the franchise, which is pretty much over. And for the box office for both of these films, it seems to bear this out. Shambhala, are you ready for this? Brought in Japanese total of 1.22 billion yen, while Milos could only manage 17.4 million. That first one was a billion, this is a million yen. I guess time can take its toll on a franchise. I'm not saying that the story for Milos was subpar. I just think it's been a long while since we've seen this. I think they tried with the problem. I think with Milos was Brotherhood was so strong and got into the deep part of the psyche of the characters. Milos didn't do that. Milos could have easily been part of the FullMetal Alchemist 2003-2004 franchise. It didn't have any of the dark undertones that Brotherhood had, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's what people wanted, or we're just over the Elric brothers unless they bring out something new. But he's not writing it anymore, so it's over. And I still feel that Milos was the last chance for Bones to make a little bit more money. Didn't make much, but for an anime flick, it probably did pretty good. Just didn't do near the business. Because when Shambhala came out, we were all high on it, and I think Attack on Titan's going to do the same thing. When they finally come out with the movie, it's going to be when they finally do something like a Shambhala, where they try and do a added on piece, we're going to see the same thing. Of the two, like I said, I prefer Shambhala. I think while I'm not crazy about the Nazi references like they tend to like to do, still think it's a far better film. just was Milos was just a real disappointment. Good. It's nice to see my favorite characters back. They had not nowhere near enough for a Mustang for me. It's just like they had to drop him in because that's what we expected to see, but he really didn't have to be there. And that's kind of my take on these two films. Um, papers could be written about these two, but that's my take on Shambhala and Sacred Star of Milos. And if you have any reactions to what I've said, if you'd like me to talk more about um, Full Metal Alchemist, I certainly will. And see you next time.